So I guess how we can get started is we can just go around and we'll have each of our three panelists just tell us their name and what they're currently doing that is involved in open source. So why don't we just jump right in with Beth to see if your voice is getting picked up from there.
Hi, I'm Beth Niger. I am currently employed with the University of Chicago, where I support lots of free software via the software that's installed on a Linux cluster and the Linux cluster itself. I'm also known for my volunteer contributions with the Ohio Linux Fest.
Awesome. Marina?
Hi, I'm Marina. I work at Webcam as the community engagement lead. I was working on the software development. It was Apple here. What are the developers?
Can you mute the inbound mic to the computer when Beth isn't talking? Maybe I can take a look, yeah.
Yeah. She's just going to look into fixing that for you. Maybe if we can skip Marina from now and come back to her.
We'll pull this in for some minute, 1 second.
Okay, yeah, let's see whether there's an echo for me as well. I don't hear an echo right now.
Okay, so why don't you get started talking about yourself?
If you don't mind, I'll just introduce myself and then I'm sure Maria will go next. Hi, I am Sumana Harihaneshwara and I work for the Wikimedia Foundation. May I ask who is here likes Wikipedia?
Nobody likes
Wikipedia. Thank you. Great, yeah, you're welcome, basically. I work for the about 170 person nonprofit based in San Francisco, but with people in lots of countries and states, which keeps Wikipedia going, and I help nurture that open source community. I also am part of the Data Initiative Advisory Board, which means that I help give advice to the Data Initiative, a nonprofit that helps encourage women in open source software and open stuff like Wikipedia. I live in New York City.
Can you say that again, but slower?
Certainly, sorry. So I live in New York City, and in addition to working for the Wikimedia Foundation, I am also an advisor on the advisory board of the ADA Initiative, which is a nonprofit that helps encourage women in open source software and in open culture like Wikipedia. I am the US-born daughter of Indian immigrants, and I currently have blue hair, although you can't see it because of the lighting. Are you just asking me to speak more slowly generally, or am I actually testing something for you without knowing it?
No, we're just asking you to speak more slowly in general, because it's a little bit new. It sounded a little fuzzy, so it makes it easier to understand you.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
Totally okay. Sweet. Hold on just a second, Marina. I'm going to press the button, which will hopefully do a thing.
Okay, and if not, I'll just ignore it.
Is it good? Oh, no, she can't.
Yeah, it's perfect. Okay, great. So, hi again, I'm Marina. I work at Webcam. I've been working on my GNOME desktop, which is a desktop for Linux, as a software engineer for many years. And most recently, I've switched to working internally with the GNOME community and also outreach efforts to women in open source and free software. So I organized an outreach group for women, which provides internships to women. Those we're idea of open source projects, including GNOME and Wikimedia and Mozilla and Linux kernel. And I also just work on the GNOME community that make it friendlier for newcomers and run all these different instances that we have, including Google Summer Internship. I'm also a director for the GNOME Foundation and an advisor and a director for the ADA Initiative Foundation.
Cool. Great. So just a reminder again to talk slowly, because the quality isn't super good, because we weren't able to get the audio working the way we wanted it to. Great. So you can now talk a little bit about how you found out about open source, how you got involved, and how you got to the point where you are now. That would be great. I guess again we'll start with that.
I was a college student like you back in 1999. I was given quite an opportunity to intern at Pittsburgh Supercomputing Center, which was doing research on a particular library that is used for message passing between one computer to another. Now, these tools were well established for languages such as Fortran and C at the time, and my job was to compare the C known good library to the performance on Java. That gave me the opportunity to do a real crash course on the following things: the free software desktop, running Linux, running a compiler that wasn't a proprietary GUI. At that point in time, Borland was the one go-to sort of shop back in those days, and the wild and wacky and wonderful community that is free software and free culture. I was immersed into it. I came for the overall tool that this environment would give me to get my research done and get my internship. I stayed for the community now 15 years later.
Marina?
Okay, so I was only vaguely aware of the free software when I was in college, and then also I used in college, and that's my previous job. And then I was hired by Red Hat for basically a different team where my database skills were relevant. And then when that project kind of ended, I joined the desktop team, and that's like when I really started working with a wider free software community. And because there were so few women in our project, at some point I was asked to organize an outreach program for women, and I've been doing that for a while, and that has grown. So basically I came to be hired in Red Hat, but it's a lot more than a job for me.
Sumana?
Sure. So just first off, in Google Hangout, in the upper right-hand set of icons, there's one for a microphone. If you click that when you in Chicago don't need to speak, then that will probably reduce the echo. So, yeah, that is probably going to help if you do that. I don't know what you've done, but basically, in the webinar space, if you click on the mic icon, that does mute microphones, and that'll help reduce the echo. Okay, yeah, that's great. That's a lot better. Thank you.
Awesome.
Okay, so now we can sort of speak at normal speed, I think. Although I am a New Yorker, so I guess I speak kind of fast. Sorry. Well, in 1998, I arrived at the University of California at Berkeley, thinking that I was going to rebel against my parents, because my parents basically said, well, you want to be a doctor or an engineer? And I thought that I liked talking to people a little bit more. And I ran into this guy named Seth, who was telling me about this interesting concept called free software, free and open source software. And he showed me the general public, the new public license, and this set of ideas around freedom. The idea that we should actually share with each other, and that on an ideal level, it's better because you're sharing with each other. And on a pragmatic level, it's better because when people share, you bring more perspectives to the party, and you can get, you can get better results. This made a lot of sense to me. And so I started using Linux, and a few years after that, I started contributing back as a tester on a project called Miro, as a product manager, kind of deciding what features to build next on an open source law case lookup tool called AltLaw. As a documentation person and in Node, like Marina, on a project called Empathy, and so on. So I ended up using my people skills and improving my technical skills as well. Oh, my last day on the job as a community manager before I take a sabbatical to go to hacker school here in New York City, where I'm going to actually go improve my coding skills. So, 15 years later, things have come full circle. Is the audio reasonably good? Because you should go ahead and unmute yourself now, because I'm done.